welcome to my new channel. Hello and welcome. This is my new channel, which is going to be like an academic channel. So I guess I should start a bit more formally. Okay, so this channel is going to be for my PGCE, and it's going to be sort of like a reflective video diary that I'm going to keep during my full-time placement block. So yeah, let's go for some background. So my full-time block is at a pupil referral unit for young people aged 14 to 16 who are there for a number of reasons. So it could be behaviour, emotional or social disorder, which includes a variety of things, including things like ADHD, behaviour or other behaviour disorders, emotional disorders like anxiety, depression, social disorders, things like that. Also SEN, special learning needs, and also we serve students with medical needs too. So that's the background. We run Nurture where I am, which, if you don't know what that is, it's Mary Boxall theory, whereby you assess young people according to a set of criteria, and then you nurture them, because a lot of these young people need nurturing. So you're in like little family units, and like your classrooms got sofas, and you have breakfast together, and you sort of, it's very much like a holistic approach to education. The group I'm based in are academic as well. So at my school we've got 3 nurture groups, and one of which is academic nurture, which is the one I'm in. The other 2 don't do GCSEs, they do like functional skills, things like that. And ASDAN, my group do functional skills, ASDAN and GCSE syllabuses, and I've been teaching, well, will be teaching health and social care, ASDAN. I've been doing some functional maths, functional IT, and also work related learning, which is like sex ed. So yeah, that's some background. Okay, so how is full-time block going? Well, it's just the end of week 2, and so far I've only managed 4 days out of 10, which has been frustrating, and here's why. So the first week we had an inset day on a Monday, and then I have a youth work job as well, which I'm trying to balance with doing my PGCE, and because of that I couldn't quite get the time off, so I couldn't go in on the Tuesday. So I just did 3 days, which was great. I had a fantastic first week. We'll talk about some incidences though that did happen that week, because I think it's good to reflect on them. And then the second week I've been ill with tonsillitis and sinusitis. So I only went in on the Friday because that's when I finally sort of could get out of bed. So that's been really frustrating because I've missed out on a lot of teaching hours and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to make them up, and that's really frustrating because I had all my lessons planned out and I was really excited to deliver them. So yeah, we'll talk about week 1. Week 1, on the Wednesday, I taught Sex and Relationships Level 1, and we were doing about, I was meant to be doing about breakups and families, which is a really cool lesson I planned, and I put like some music and stuff in there to make it a bit more interesting. And due to absences, I only had one member of my class who actually had been absent a few weeks before. So I just did catch up with him, and that went really, really well. We still did most of the activities, and then we watched the DVD because I felt like that was appropriate because they worked really hard and they were on their own, and it could always be a little bit awkward when someone's on their own. So yeah, we watched some DVDs, which was Baby Borrowers, which is a really good BBC resource pack about teenage pregnancy, and it fit in quite nicely with what we were doing. On the Thursday in the morning, I did 1-to-1 functional maths. They had exams, and then I got to mark them and give them their results, which was really good fun. And like, there's one young person I've been working 1-to-1 with, and they got 18 out of 20 on their exam, and I was so happy. So hopefully, like, they'll do really well in their functional exam. And then in the afternoon, I was planning with the health and social care teacher, while the rest of my class went and did sport. Friday morning, again, was like functional stuff, which was pretty cool. So again, working like with a few people in the classroom, sort of almost acting as like an inclusion worker, which is not always ideal, but it's still quite good to like get experience. Even if I'm not leading the class, I can observe the teacher and then also like help the learners. And then in the afternoon, this is when it sort of gets interesting. In the afternoon, I had planned an ASDAN accreditation challenge, which, believe it or not, was makeovers, which is part of the health and survival unit. And the challenge was they have to do before and after pictures and then make over either themselves or someone else in the shop. So I did all the prep work for this. I planned it. I made a beautiful little workbook, and I like embedded maths in there by making them cost up the outfits and things like that. Booked the minibar, rang Primark and just said, like, is it alright if we take pictures in the changing rooms, because some people might find that a bit funny, and they're like, yep, no, that's fine, as long as like consent, which we had for the young people already. They've got open consent forms to go anywhere. So yeah, but what had also happened this week is we had 2 new girls arrive in our little group, and so all the other girls are trying to impress them, because that's what you do. You're sort of trying to work out pecking order again. So when we got into town, half of them absconded and went for a cigarette, and 2 of them actually stayed and did the activity. The instructor I was with was absolutely fantastic. He was like, right, you plan this activity, I'll stay with the guys who've absconded for a cigarette, and you go do the activity with the other 2. And the other 2 did a fantastic job, and I was like so proud of them. The absconding bit from the others was really disappointing and sort of like kind of embarrassing for me as a teacher, because it's like, oh, I clearly can't control them or whatever. But sometimes young people are just going to make those decisions regardless of what you've planned, because their agenda is impressing these new people and showing them that they're really hard and cool, rather than let's do what the teacher says, because she spent a long time ringing up and planning this challenge. So that was kind of quite hard to digest and quite frustrating. My inclusion worker was like, do you know what, I think they would have done it anyway, it's not you, the activity was really good, like you planned it really well, you've done everything, the other 2 really enjoyed it, it's just they had motives already. So we gave them like appropriate sanctions and explained to them, you know, that their actions were not appropriate. And the thing is, we did like the behaviour contract before we went out, so we were like, you know, you choose your behaviour, and unfortunately they chose the wrong path. So that, as like a trainee, was really hard and really gutting and just sort of embarrassing, but it's fine. Like, you know, we did the right things, and I've learnt from that, you know, maybe if there are new people in the group, maybe it's best not to go out in an afternoon because it's not great for them. So yeah, so that was week 1. That's what I've learnt from week 1. So I'm still doing lots of like reading on behaviour and stuff like that. I've got some great books which I'll like link right in the description below. So yeah, so that's week 1. Obviously week 2 I was poorly sick. But on the last day, which was the Friday, I went in because it was showcase day and I didn't want to miss it, and I made a big display in the science room on ethics and transplants, because that's something I taught earlier, and then we did alcohol and drugs, which is also something in the GCSE science syllabus, and that went down really well because I had like a jug of water and a cup, and they had to measure out like a unit of vodka, and then I had these unit cups. Where are they? In my handy bag. And then I have these unit cups which show like the measurements and things, and it was quite fun. Like, people enjoyed it and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually pouring myself a triple rather than a single when I'm pouring drinks at home. So that was really cool, and it was really good to see showcase. So yeah, in conclusion, like, I'm heartbroken about being ill, but you know, you can't help these things, and as frustrating as they are, you know, that's life. One thing I did get complimented on is that I did send in all my lesson plans and everything like that for the teachers, and they said that was really professional, and you know, really good to do, like when you're ill. So that's, you know, another good lesson that I can sort of take forward. So yeah, there's like my first 2 weeks in a nutshell.